Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board, Madam Superintendent. You should have before you the financial statement for the month of May of 2015. If we return to tab 2, turn to the very next page. First thing, let me just mention that I did prepare a statement for the May financial statement. Of course, you may read it at your leisure. First, the general fund's balance sheet basically states the district's financial position as of May of 2015. As you know, that we had total assets of about $48.9 million, liabilities of about $1.9 million, with a total fund equity or fund balance of about $46.9 million. Out of that $46.9 million fund balance, about $3 million of that are obligated funds, which basically means that those are purchase orders. Therefore, we had a true fund balance at the end of May 31st, 2015 at about $43.6 million. Of course, still, we are projecting to end fiscal year 2015 between $27 to $30 million. That's our projection for fiscal year, end of fiscal year 2015. Mr. President, let me also state that I asked the board to let us pay very, very close attention to the new session that has been called on by the governor. I think they're in recess right now, and I think they'll pick up again in the month of August. I think it's very, very important that we know about the bills that are coming forth that could certainly affect the Education Trust Fund. One of the things that has been recommended was unifying the general fund to the Education Trust Fund. As we know, the Education Trust Fund is indeed the fund that have growth revenues, which are those sales taxes and those income taxes. That is where the true growth is coming from. So I'm somewhat afraid that because the general fund is pretty stagnant, that a lot of those monies may be transferred to general fund expenditures if that was to happen. Also, there have been some talk about the possibility of transferring use tax dollars. These are dollars that are currently allocated to the Education Trust Fund. It's been recommended that those dollars go to the general fund. It's about $80 million a year. So that could be another potential hit. I am somewhat excited, though, that in this session, this is supposed to be addressing rolling reserve. And we know how much rolling reserve have hurt K-12 education in the state of Alabama. So we were somewhat excited about that. Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I would like to say we've come a long way as far as that funds back, our fund balance. I'm very happy to see that we are well above where we need to be. And hopefully our legislators are sitting in the audience tonight gonna help us with those concerns down in Montgomery that you have.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Watts.
Mr. Watts and Dr. Gaku, let me ask a question. I saw the message from the council today. Are we going to respond with a date for budget for the city council?
We need to really discuss that as a team. So if the board members would like, we can certainly move forward and be prepared to share that communication. We have not discussed it as a team, so we can certainly decide what direction we want to take and go forward from there.
Okay. And earlier we asked for some information on the community schools. I would like to receive that information.
Okay. Certainly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda items 7A through J.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried.
I did want to make one correction on the
Absolutely.
item, Dr. Gaku.
Yes. On item A, grade results, computer-based learning, the correct amount should be $137,500. The written amount is incorrect, but I want to make sure that it is duly noted that the correct amount is $137,500.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Williams. We're now ready to entertain our personnel action items. It's a recommendation that we approve personnel action items as submitted.
I move that we approve items 8 with the exception of the items that were pulled, C-108, page 1, C-138, page 2, C-140, page 3.
It's been moved and properly seconded.
Excuse me, I'd like to also make sure that we note the legal settlement as well.
Going to, oh, absolutely, it's removed. Yes, ma'am, duly noted.
So the legal settlement is a part of it?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I didn't say that.
No, ma'am. All minds and hearts clear? All in favor? All those opposed? The motion is carried. We're now ready to entertain board highlights. Board member Sherman Collins.
Who's going to do the legal settlement?
Member Sherman Collins.
Well, I'm okay.
Board member Lord Watson.
In District 2, we're going to be hosting a meet and greet for the superintendent in District 2 at Ruffin Mountain, and that will take place on July the 30th, that's Thursday, July the 30th at 6 o'clock.
That's all, sir.
That's it.
Board member Brian Jetina. Sir. Board member Dodgy Hendricks.
Yes, I asked just now while we're moving along in our agenda to board highlights when we did not finish number 8 and I didn't get an answer. So I would like to remove my board highlights until the end, or at least until we have taken care of number 8, if you don't mind.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Board member Sherry Gardner. Board member April Williams.
Hope everyone's enjoying their summer.
Board member Sandra Brown.
Last Thursday, I attended the ESL presentation at Washington School, and it was really a very good program. And it was well attended by the parents. The luncheon was great. Big, I didn't say large, big pot of hot tamales. Homemade. Dr. G was there also. The program was really fantastic. The students honored their homeland, Honduras. They danced. It was really great. And those board members that did not attend, you really missed a treat. It was worth attending. And after I left Washington School, I ended up at Carver High School. And I would like to commend Mr. McAfee and his team. They had guest band directors. They had students from Miles College that was in the band. And if this was just a taste of what we will be seeing at the football games, the students were really great. And it was a picture to behold to see all of the bands together from all the high schools. In Carver High School's gym, the students covered the gym floor. It was really nice. The students were orderly. And the guest band directors, they were really great with our students. It was really worth my time to go out and support our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Vice President Wardina Alexander. Thank you, Matt. We're now ready to entertain the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Woodson and board members. I would like to first begin by just thanking everyone for just the warm reception. I mean, tonight is just one of many examples of how the employees, how the community have really helped me to feel welcome and embrace the opportunity to really move forward and do some wonderful things in Birmingham City Schools. So I do want to begin by thanking each and every one of you for that. It's hard to believe, I've just been 2 weeks in officially now, but a lot of things have occurred. I've had the opportunity to meet with individual board members, with individual community members, with employees, all of our principals at each level. The list goes on. And what I've quite frankly said to each of them is just tell me very candidly, what can we do to get better and what's working very well in our district. And I really, really appreciate just the candid conversation and looking forward to a great school year. To that end, yesterday I had the opportunity to welcome our new teachers. It was just a wonderful opportunity to really greet about 80 new teachers who are right on board and ready for the start of our school year. I want to personally thank our professional development staff as well as our human resources staff for all of the work that they've been done to really pull all of this together. Ms. Cross spoke at our last board meeting about us really being in a fantastic place in terms of having about 97% of our staff in place for the upcoming school year. So to be able to really see firsthand our teachers in action, starting their professional learning opportunities, it was really wonderful to be a part of it. We also are in the process of really tying together our administrative retreat that is coming up with all of our principals and other district leadership to really make sure that we are working as a team collaboratively to drive professional learning so that we're all doing the same work throughout the school year. So there's more information to come, but I'm just excited and I encourage each and every one of you, no matter what capacity you're in, there's something that you can do to support all of us in this work. Thank you. The last thing before I wrap up to Ms. Williams' point, we have been given an invitation to take part in a conversation with the council, city council, and so at this time, I am certainly open as I'm continuing to meet people within the community. If board members, if you are open to doing that, we can certainly, I can respond to the city council that we are in agreement and we can go and meet with them on tomorrow. Or I believe Thursday is the date. That Thursday has been the requested date, so.
Do you have a time?
I'm referring back to it.
It didn't say a time. They just asked us to this week. It didn't say a time.
I do not see a day, a specific day, but now we have Wednesday or Thursday. If we do desire to have this meeting, I will certainly follow up, but I do need to hear from board members.
I think it's fair to say, I think the board would probably would support our superintendent in meeting with them. Date and time to be determined. Sir?
It's also be appropriate potentially just because of the schedule when we're out Friday, if appropriate, finance chair and officer, president, vice president could also attend on short notice, but there is an urgency on that.
You said all board members.
I want to clarify the email that they're asking to meet with our superintendent. They're extending an invitation to us to, I would say, participate as far as sitting in on the meeting. Just clarification.
Excuse me, I need further clarification on this statement. What are you saying?
I was just email.
I'm sorry, let me just clear. I was not saying nobody, I was just saying because of short notice, that at a minimum, if anybody couldn't attend, then we would have superintendent and officers. So, I did not see that it was mandatory. I was reading it as they were all invited. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Any other board members?
Randall.
Dr. Key just check with them, send us an email and let us know the time and the exact date and so forth.
I can certainly do that.
Any other board members? Thank you, Dr. G.
You're welcome.
We are now ready to entertain community voice. Community voice is a segment in our board meeting where those in attendance. I have not forgotten about legal salary. Yes, ma'am. Got you.
President Woods and Dr. Guy. And stakeholders. I am Dr. Williams, principal of Philadelphia, and I come with a little phrase. It's no mistake that I was first on the list because we still watch, you know, that person is person. We have.
Say it again so we can hear you.
All of our schools are number one. They
That's
share
right.
that,
That's right.
that place, they go to program.
We had previously approved trip to Spain for study abroad with our group called the Global Scholars. It's our study abroad group of students. And we had to change it to Costa Rica for financial reasons. And we're just asking for some support. Tonight, some of our parents, and we have dynamic parents with our PTA, they got together to host a fundraiser at, it's called Cantina Tortilla Grill in Herbert Place. It's from 5 to 9 tonight. So if anyone in the building would like to come out to support that, they are going to give portions of any of purchases towards our Costa Rica trip. It is a trip that is focused on project-based learning, like our superintendent was talking about. It's going to expose our children to many, many experiences. It will be our first study abroad trip, so we're very excited about it, and we really want our children to be able to go. This trip is about $1,000 less than Spain, so we're really hoping that we'll be able to get that money together. If you have any ideas to help us raise money, we are very, very open to any ideas that could help us. Our very own little artist back here, Indigo, is one of our global scholars, and she'll be joining us in Costa Rica. So we're very excited about that, and I just thank you for your support.
Thank you, Dr. Williams.
Excuse me. I still have a question on community voice. I want to know the dates of the trip.
And how many children?
The trip is scheduled for February 2016.
And was that $1,000 difference total or per child?
Per child.
Okay, how much is it?
Spain was about $3,500 and Costa Rica is $2,200 per student.
How many students?
Well, right now we have about 6 of them registered, but we're trying to get more registered because we had to change the trip about a month and a half ago.
And how much money? Thank you.
$2,200 per student. And for every 6
How many
children,
students?
ma'am,
How many students?
for every 6 children that we get signed up, 1 adult gets to go, and that's a chaperone. So, when we need adults to go out of the country.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Hazel Boyd.
Good evening. Good evening. I just came to thank the board members for all coming together and making the school all on the same Title I because it didn't make any sense to have 5 or 6 schools separate from the rest of the schools in our Birmingham City schools. So I'm thankful that I've been arguing for a long time and now it happened. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd. Thank you. Was Susan Pearson? Bob Freeman.
Good evening. It's nice to see familiar faces and some new ones. I'm Bob Friedman. I reside at 1623 12th Street South in Birmingham. I'm used to speaking at the city council, so I do that. And it's to our president and to my school board member, glad to be here. And I want to welcome I understand it's Dr. G. That's how we're supposed to handle it. Gakutan? Welcome to the awesome task ahead. I'm hoping, by the way, that I do a little radio show on WATV on Thursday evening. We would love to have you come on board and share your history and your vision with the rest of the city. I'm hopeful that the board is in support of continuing the after-school programs versus, I hate to say versus mentoring, because I've done both, but I know for young people, really for older people too, a collective context for learning is much more supportive and very important, I think, for our young people. What motivated me to come here this evening, though, was this, a card that I received back in December, and I was really excited and talked it up in my community in terms of supporting the arts. From my perspective, it's always been something I would rather not see as an elective, but something that would be mandatory, that would allow our young people to learn how to perform, not just act, because it's a transformative process, and it's helpful in anything else that they decide to learn, math and science and so forth. I'm hoping that you'll continue to target that money. And I don't know if your protocol is to answer questions, but I'm asking you, are you targeting this money, or are you putting it into the general fund?
Thank you, Mr. Friedman.
You're welcome.
Gloria Randolph.
Hello, Dr. G. Welcome to Birmingham. Everybody else here knows me, but I'm here about Ramsey High School, of course. Ramsey is my alma mater. I graduated in 1954, and since then I have been, or recently have become re-involved. I have a complaint, I'm sorry, and it may be that, okay. Last fall, when Dr. Sullivan came on board, he and I had a long talk about Ramsey and so forth, and I asked him about the flagpole at Ramsey. It's a wonderful flagpole, but it's rusted. And he and I discussed how to get it painted, and I want a brass ball on top, so it looks good. And we already have flags. So he agreed, and he was very helpful. He had a tree cut so that the equipment could come and paint it. I learned that it was going to cost us $750, and I went to the neighborhood associations and asked them to vote. And so they voted. Glen Iris gave $375, and 5 Points gave $375. These are areas where the school's located. Well, Dr. Sullivan kept asking me, when were we going to paint the flagpole? And I said, well, I understand this is a very long process of getting this money approved. But I have since heard that the City Council did approve the expenditure of those funds, and I don't know how this works. Does then those funds, how do they get, Mr. Giattino, how do they get to the school board? I mean, it's your district. Anyway, somehow, do you know, Mr. Woodford?
It's only support meeting over. I'll be glad to talk with you.
But anyway, that's where it stands right now, and we're waiting to have it painted. I would like to have it done in time for Veterans Day, so that the ROTC could participate in the dedication and so forth. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Randall. Mr. Jerry Tate.
Good evening to the board, Dr. Gakutan, correct? Gakutan. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the board. If we are a Title I district, I did not know that, but if that is indeed the case, we would definitely welcome that coming from a non-Title I school. It's really disturbing to see how the Title I and the non-Title I funds are split. So if we are a Title I district, I'd like to congratulate Birmingham on that. The next item is ready day one. As a parent, I wanted to reiterate us being ready day one. I know this year we have a lot of new teachers that are coming on board. I think the number mentioned about 80 or so. But on those agenda items, you can see where it says awaiting background check. So whatever we can do to not just fill the numbers to make sure that we have teachers, but have the best and the brightest, and to do everything that we can to make sure that we don't run into a situation like we had last year where we're having to replace teachers mid-year. The next item is our community schools. I don't know where we are with that, but if somehow, I feel like the board actually owns that because we own the children. The children are in our school, the 24,000 or so, and I know the parents are really concerned about the after-school care component of community schools. So if we can somehow break that out so that we can rectify what the after-school care is going to look like, because we only have about, another week and we're ready to register for the fall registration. Parents need to know where the kids are going to be going after school so we can start making arrangements. If you're not going to get an after-school care program at the school, we need to know so we can make arrangement to have them picked up or to have them enrolled in another after-school care program. But that's a very big concern with the parents. What is that community, what is that after-school care component going to look like? And then maybe work on the other components of that community school. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Tate.
Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am,
I
Spark.
would like to request an executive session to discuss the legal settlement.
Absolutely.
I move we go into executive session for 15 minutes to discuss the legal settlement.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Mr. President. Representative
No problems. And are we allowed to finish this motion? Let's,
I thought we just did, you can't.
all in favor? All those opposed? That motion is carried. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to put some clarity to that rolling reserve that Mr. White spoke about.
Will you come to the mic this morning?
Okay. Can I?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to put some clarity to it in that use tax because Mr. Watts was excited about it. But the reason the Senate put a hold on them taking any monies out of that rolling reserve is once they open it up, the majority of the money is going to the general fund. And once they do that, and portions of it is set aside to help start up charter schools. So you won't be getting out of it. The only thing that they had on a budget that the Senate said we could go back and revamp it, to look at it again, is the grade divisor. The House put in there that we will increase the grade divisor by 2%, and that determines your teacher units. And the Senate put it down to 1%, with the provision that if we do go into the rolling reserve, that would be the one thing that we will go back and visit to bring it back up so that we can try to put more teachers in our classroom. And on that usage tax, right now, that's about $8 million. Right now, they can only identify about 45 million. And that, and where they're identifying they're coming from, tobacco taxes and things of that nature, is unstable. So I don't see the excitement. It's going to be a battle for us not to allow them to do that. And so that's one reason we could not stay in session on yesterday, because the deals that the governor was supposed to have given to us, no one had seen them. And I mean, both sides of the aisle, I believe, have concern about what they're doing with the rolling reserve when the deal specifically was for putting monies in our schools and not to store up the general fund. So I think that's something you need to be aware of, and you need to do as much lobbying as you can on it in these 3 weeks before we go into session.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Moore.
We will return shortly. For the legal settlement. It's the recommendation that we approve the legal settlement as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. We will do a roll call vote. Board Member Sherman Collins.
Yes.
Board Member Lloyd Watson.
Yes.
Board Member Brian Chatina.
Yes.
Board Member Dodgy Hendricks.
No.
Board Member Sherry Gardner.
I abstain.
Board Member April Williams.
Yes.
Board Member Sandra Brown.
Yes.
Madam Vice President.
Yes.
Yes, the motion passes. I believe we have one remaining board member who would like to share their community update. Board Member Dodgy Hendricks.
Thank you very much, President Woodson. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. I wanted to, number one, congratulate our school system on the Gear Up program. We had fantastic summer programs that we had available for all children throughout the city of Birmingham. My son participated in some of those courses. We had free transportation, free lunch, and free academic opportunities for all of our children throughout the system for the entire summer. Mathematics, science, reading, and language arts included. We have got to make sure that all of our children participate in these wonderful programs. We had UAB students, UAB teachers, students from from Auburn University. We had a plethora of different opportunities academically to expand our children's knowledge. And I implore that you all please make sure that we make sure that our children participate in these types of activities, because it truly, truly was a blessing to see. And the children that participated in it not only learned, but they also enjoyed learning, which is a novel concept for children in the summer period. So I definitely want to congratulate our school system for doing that and taking the lead on that program. At Hayes Middle School, we had Breakthrough Birmingham, which is another one of our programs that we had for summer students. It's a 3-year commitment, and that also is a fantastic opportunity for our students, and I wish that more could avail themselves. But please spread the word, because Birmingham City Schools are doing some fantastic things for our students, and we're going to continue to do that in the upcoming summers. I do also want to highlight that we were able to make sure that Title I approval was for all of our schools, so that all of our children can have the same opportunities. I share with my colleagues, I think that was something that was very important to all of us, to make sure that we open those doors to all of our children in terms of our summer activities, as well as other activities that occurred throughout the year. We have a responsibility as board members, and we have a responsibility to our constituency. We may not always agree, but we have to be good stewards of our school system, our funding, and our teachers and our staff, as well as the students. Being fiscally responsible is very critical to that, and I think that we need to make sure that we're doing our best effort to make sure that we're doing that best effort for our children and for the responsibility financially for the system. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hendricks. Our next meetings are the following. We will have a special call board meeting July 21st, so next Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. We'll have a work session the fourth Tuesday of this month, July 28th at 5:30 p.m. And our next regular scheduled board meeting is Tuesday, August 11th, 2015 at 5:30 p.m. This meeting is adjourned.